Hey guys, Prangell Gaming here. Welcome back to Talk the Wall. Now, this is the 7th installment, and today we're getting right into your responses and questions that you may have had. But first, if you haven't seen any of the other 6 installments, then why not check them out? I'll be leaving a link of the last Talk the Wall in this description of this video, and you could also access the playlist by clicking the I button. But as I said before, if you want to put some comments down or even some questions, do feel free to, because I do want a Millwall voice throughout. And before we get right into this video, I do want to know your score predictions for the Sheffield United game. Put that in the comments section of this video. Also with your opinions, what you felt went right and wrong in that game and also in the Peterborough game. Just bear in mind that I am recording this on the Tuesday. It does go up on the Wednesday, so I'll be covering what happened in the Peterborough game in the next week's Talk the Wall. So I'm going to start with the score predictions here. And it was against MK Dons, obviously, and no one got the exact score that was obviously 2-2. However, you did get the right amount of goals scored. Pretty much everyone thought that we was going to get 2 goals there. So I'm going to start with Joe Holloway, Ronnie McKeeley and Cowsey HD. They all expected us to win the game 2-0, so they didn't actually expect us to concede a goal there. So that was where they went wrong on that one. Then Zenon, Harry CD and Joe Conway said that they wanted us to win 2-1, which was very close, but again, it wasn't the right result as we did concede that one more goal. Now, a few people, Zenon and Harry CD, put their thoughts to why they expected the game to end this way. Zenon said that he thought that O'Brien and Thompson would get the goals for us, and Harry CD said the result would be like this because MK Dons have too good a quality striker in Nicky Maynard, and Ed Upson has found good form scoring a goal or 2 in pre-season for them. If we keep a clean sheet, then I think that we really show what we can expect from Millwall this season. And I also predicted the score to be 1-1. I got the draw right, but I didn't get the right result. Obviously, I didn't expect us to throw the game away with a 2-goal lead as well. That was slightly upsetting, but I'll get more into that as we get into later on in this Talk the Wall. Now, I'll start with the thoughts of Zenon, who said, Worrell looks good so far. Wild is doing decent whilst the set pieces have been so much better under Harris. The 4-0 last night was a brilliant revenge. Great win, 7 goals scored and 0 conceded, so there's not a lot to complain about as of yet. Harry Smith will be a good signing with some added competition in my opinion, although some people have just been likening him to Meyerhofer. Hopefully, he could be better than that. We don't find out because he wanted first team football and Harris said he wasn't going to get it here. And it's brilliant that Byron Webster has signed a new deal. He took the stick we gave him and has come through our best centre-back at the moment. So what do I make of this? Well, I'm not going to lie here. I heard that Worrell's been doing some extra training with Neil Harris on set pieces, and you can clearly tell he's been doing that. He has been amazing, at least at set pieces, and our conversion rate is so much better this season. So you don't have to dread us stepping up to take a corner. You can finally look excited and think that the person that puts it in might actually have a chance to help us do something and get a goal. Now with Harry Smith, I do think it could be something that could be really great for the club. Now before I say anything else, then Joe Holloway actually said that he thinks Harry Smith will be a better and younger Morrison. I could definitely agree with that. He has the potential. We've just got to see if he can actually go out and prove it now. And with the Byron Webster deal, I think it came at the perfect time, and it's definitely a reward for being such an important member of the team. Without him, I think we really would struggle. Next up, I will cover Ronnie McKeeley's team, and it goes as follows. Jordan Archer in goal, Craig and Webster as the 2 centre-backs, the right back of Romeo, the left back of Joe Martin, the 2 centre midfielders of Thompson and Williams, the right midfielder as Worrell, the left midfielder as O'Brien, and the 2 strikers of Gregory and Morrison. And all I'm going to say here is, to be fair, it's actually the team I'd probably go with. I may, though, swap Morrison and O'Brien around because I maybe don't want Morrison in the team, so we could put someone else on the left midfield, and I do think obviously that would be Ferguson or maybe even Wild, but it's too close really to call between those two, and I definitely think this could be one of the strongest teams that Millwall could put out. Harry CD was the next person to say something. He said, I brought the kit and mine is fine, washed it a fair few times already, it's still as good as new. And Millwall fans didn't like Sordell because when he played for Charlton, and we said he looked like a fish. So I'm going to say that's pretty good. Someone's praising the shirt, so do feel free to give me updates just so everyone else can hear them, to be honest, because I know you guys do want to hear what's happening with the shirts. So as I said, do feel free to let us know throughout the season, as then some people might see that as an idea to go get a shirt or not get a shirt. It's completely up to you guys. You are the people that really want to know, so you guys let me know and I'll tell everyone about it. Finally, BTJW Gaming said, I was wondering if you could talk about the manager Neil Harris. How do you think he'll do throughout the season as it progresses? And also, do you think he'll stay with us for a long time or leave in a season or two? So, with Neil Harris, I think he'll stick with us because he's a club legend. Unless it actually goes pear-shaped, then obviously his legend status may be kind of risking there, so he may have to leave. But I would expect him to do really well, stick around, and he may even lead the club to huge success. Who knows what the future could hold? I just hope that he does really well and could get us promoted sometime soon. Whether it's this season or the next, I'm not too fussed. I think we've still got a decent team. Now, for the next part of this podcast, I'll be quickly covering the past two matches, which was the game last Tuesday night against Barnet and the game last Saturday against MK Dons. So we'll start with Barnet here, and as you know, Millwall won the game 4-0. Our goals came from Aidan O'Brien, Steve Morrison and Fred, but we also got an own goal there, or they scored an own goal through John Akinde, a player that scored against us last time when we played them in the Cup. Then the assisters there were Morrison for the O'Brien goal and Worrell for the Morrison goal. And I've got to say, overall, I'm very happy, but you can't judge a book by its cover. 4-0 against the side in League 2. We beat Oldham 3-0. They are smaller sides, so we just need to see how we cope against the bigger sides there. Now, with the MK Dons game, we drew it 2-2, and our goals came from an own goal by Upson, which was assisted by Tony Craig, and then a David Worrell goal, which was assisted by Aidan O'Brien. And I'm not going to lie, I'm upset that obviously we threw away that 2-goal lead, but we still played pretty well. The fact that we conceded 2 goals to Kieran Agard, yeah, the second goal maybe should have been avoided, and maybe we shouldn't have conceded as many as we did. But at the end of the day, it's a fair result for both clubs, or that's at least how I see it. Now, with these results, we can still say we're unbeaten, and the least goals we've scored in the 3 matches has actually been 2, which is a very good number. Sometimes in the beginning of last season, I don't think we scored some goals in one of the games. I believe by now we'd lost 4-0 to Coventry. And obviously, then the most we've conceded is 2, which again, that's pretty good considering we've played some decent games. Now, if you then put it all together with the 3 games, then we've scored 9 goals and only conceded 2. That is not bad whatsoever if you look at it that way. And that's what's really impressed me. We've scored 9 goals in 3 games. That means technically we've got 3 goals every game if you look at it that way. Obviously we haven't, but it's still, we've done really well. Now, on to the Millwall news, and there really isn't too much to talk about this week, and some of the news will be outdated by the time this video goes up, but I still want to give it to you to let you guys know. So, Alfie Pavey could be sent on loan to non-league side Bromley, who do need a striker at the moment because they're slightly struggling in their league. And I do think this could be a good move for Pavey because he just isn't getting game time, as Neil prefers to use Phil Pott, who scored a pretty decent amount of goals in pre-season, rather than obviously using Pavey. And then he also signed Harry Smith, so that cannot really help there. And also Fred's now become a striker, so he's just falling down and down the pecking order. I know I said that it would be a good idea to keep him, but it's looking likely that he may not have a space, so he might need to go out on loan to prove how good he is. I mean, we could keep him, but there's that thought of, is he going to get game time? Is it going to be worth it? And I think maybe just loan him out, because if he does well there, maybe he could become a first team player next season. Now, the other news is to do with Millwall's injury updates, and this will definitely be out of date by the time, because it's telling you what's happening with the Peterborough game, or at least what's happening with the players. And as I said, this does go out on Wednesday, so Ferguson and Williams will have to face fitness tests against Peterborough to determine if they can play. However, Harris won't be rushing them back, as he does have players in that position, like Joe Martin can play left mid, O'Brien can play left mid, Wild can play left mid, or the centre of midfield you could put Abdu there, and I'm sure someone else could fit in that slot if they had to. Now, Hutchinson's also back after his hamstring injury and could make his debut for the Lions. However, I really do see it hard for him breaking into the team, as Tony and Byron have struck a great partnership, and Joe Martin has just come back, so he'll probably play as the left back in that game. So that is all we got time for today at least. Do feel free to put questions and opinions in the comment section for the next Talk the Wall. However, don't forget to put your score predictions for the Sheffield United game in the comment section. Next week, I'll be covering the games of obviously Peterborough and Sheffield United and highlighting the good and bad points. And I also want you guys to tell me your opinions of those matches. So, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week for the next Talk the Wall. Goodbye.